What's up guys, Retro YGO here, and today I'm going to be doing my ban list prediction for the September 2023 ban list. It's always a highly anticipated topic, so I'm going to give you guys my opinions on how we can fix the format and maybe some potential other changes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and let's get started. Okay, so starting things off, we'll start with some of the ban cards. I don't have many, I only have a few, so let's go through them. First off is Kashtira Arise Heart. I believe Kashtira Arise Heart is the real problem with the format, and this is the thing that will set Kashtira back just out of the format completely. They're already heavily reliant on this card, and without having access to it, I believe they don't have enough interaction to really stop anyone. This card is really the key of what they do now. They are more a Rise Heart control. In addition, this card also gatekeeps a lot of other decks, like say a Dark World or just other cards in general, like a Forbidden Droplet. These cards are relatively unplayable just because of the existence of Kashtira Arise Heart. So that's why I have this card as my number one most banned worthy card. Then I also have one other card as well, and that's Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This card was always a problem whenever it came up in decks, but given the current pacing of modern Yu-Gi-Oh, Kashtira has really easy access to set up a dark with more than 2500. The existence of the Bystials alone gives you another dark at 2500. It's just very easy to get a 2500 dark on the field to be able to resolve Eradicator every time you have it. In addition, the pace of modern play in Yu-Gi-Oh is very fast, where games don't generally last for more than one, maybe two turns at most. And this is a 3-turn destruction on all spells. So for these reasons, Eradicator, I think it's time. I've gotten to a point in modern Yu-Gi-Oh where Eradicator can't exist in a healthy game state. So that's it for my bans. And let's see. Next up we have, for the limits, we have Bystial Magnemite. I'm a firm believer that Bystial Magnemite is the only Bystial that needs to be checked. Lubalion is okay because its effects are more hard once per turn, and it's only a card effect that you use on your own turn. Bystial Magnemite, having multiple copies of this card, searching a Bystial in end phase, searching any dragon in end phase, it's just absurd. It's 2500 body, it replaces itself, just all around it's so powerful that this card just needs a check and balance. And if we look at the OCG format, Bystial Magnemite was one of the first Bystials that they said, this one needs to be addressed. So we're seeing it consistently in every side deck in TCG, or most of them at least. This card just needs to go. It's not healthy, it's too much interaction, it's a 2500 body, it's a power crept version of Deity Crow. It just really needs to go. And then, since we're taking cards away from the game, we need to put cards back in the game. I feel like Orcust Harp Horror it's time. Let's bring this card back. It's paid its dues. The modern game has evolved so much since Orcust format now that bringing this card back to 1, you might see some niche testing, but we're going to see that Orcust, much like the decks of the past, Sky Striker, Salamangreat, it doesn't really affect the game at all. So we can bring this card back safely at 1 as a test, and if it gets bad we can take it back, but you know, for now I believe it should come back to 1 without much impact in the format. Oopsies. In addition, I think Redox needs to come back. I lost my fucking mind when I heard out Redox is banned still. I mean, we've seen Redox Pass is not an effective strategy. Bring this card back to 1, much like the rest of the Dragon rules, will do absolutely nothing. Dragon Link is a deck. These cards are not used in Dragon Link whatsoever. Bring it back, please. Next, for the limits, I have some Runic cards. So I have Runic Fountain and Runic, where it is, Runic Tip. So we have to address Runic in some capacity in the format. And these are the two most problematic cards. If you go by the history of the ban list, Konami typically always hits a Searcher, which is Runic Tip, and Generic Draw Power, which is Runic Fountain. Both of these cards just coexisting at the same time in multiple copies is unhealthy for the game. And if you want to progress the format and move away from Runic as a deck or just an engine type in general, this is the best way to address that issue. We need to see the format evolve, and evolving past Runic would mean you need to hit the problematic cards. Maybe we see a smaller Runic engine, maybe something like just what we see it just more of like a Destruction, Freezing Curse, Flashing Fire with the Runic Tip and Runic Fountain as a small little addition as you might have in a deck. But we can't keep seeing it consistently pop up in almost every deck of the format outside of maybe Kashtira, which has its own things. Even Pearly has been playing Runics. Just we need to address this problem and see it move on. Then we look at the next one, which is Sprite. We have Sprite Jet, Sprite Starter, and Sprite Blue. Some of you might be thinking this is too much to hit for Sprite. However, if we look at the format, Sprite debuted in Power of the Elements, a set that was released over a year ago and has still to this day had consistent results and tops in every premier event. It's time to move on from Sprite format, and it's time to give the heavy hit that we saw in the OCG. Will this completely neuter the deck? No, it won't. But will it take the power level back so far that now we just stop seeing Sprite consistently top in the format? That's my opinion. I believe that Sprite will get a heavy hit. And that's all I have for the limits. We now move on to the semi-limits. And for me, I believe Dimension Shifter is going to be the first card we see as a semi-limit. Remember, I would like to ban Dimension Shifter, and I think it's completely justified to ban Dimension Shifter. However, and this is where it gets interesting. We have Rarity Collection coming out in November, and Dimension Shifter is expected to be in Rarity Collection. If it is indeed in Rarity Collection, it's not going to be hit. They aren't going to overly hit a very highly anticipated set that will make them a lot of revenue. So, for that reasons, I believe we will see an somewhat addressed Dimension Shifter. However, we won't see it fully addressed. This is the best I think we will see. And I personally don't even believe it will get hit at all once Kashtira goes. Because if you take Kashtira out of the format, there's not really another reliable deck that's a top meta contender that can play Dimension Shifter. So for that reasons, I believe Dimension Shifter semi-limit at best. I also think we see Pot of Prosperity here come as a semi-limit. For the same reasons as Dimension Shifter really, it's coming out in Rarity Collection. They're not going to limit this to 1 to hurt Rarity Collection further and drop sale rates. Pot of Prosperity, it's at best a 2, and I think maybe over time we will see this go to 1, but for now let's say it's going to follow the same line of thinking as Pot of Desires at semi-limit. It's just a very powerful card, and it's been played for the past year since the Megatins. In almost every top contending deck, you would see 3 Pot of Prosperity, where you see Kashtira, you've seen it in Pearly, you've seen it in pretty much every deck that can play it has been playing it. And then for the unlimits, first off we'll go with Herald of Orange Light. This card's done nothing at 2, it'll do almost nothing at 3. Essentially this card was on the list for one reason, and that was Ishizu Tearlaments. Without Ishizu Tearlaments in the format, this card really has no reason to be on the list any longer, so let's see it come back up to 3. Next, Salamangreat Gazelle. We just received some new Pyro support in the new Duelist set, so why not bring Gazelle back to 3, kind of help push those sales. It's been doing nothing at 1, it would do nothing at 2, let's just give Salamangreat players back at 3. And then finally, Sky Striker Engage. This card has done very, very little at 2. It sure has some niche play early in the format, but has done nothing really since. So let's bring this back to 3, where I think we're at a time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where we are past the effect of Sky Striker now. Sky Striker was really great a lot of years ago, but modern format has evolved past what Sky Striker really can do. Maybe we see Sky Striker as a pseudo engine in some other decks, like maybe from the Sky Striker Orcus deck days, but really, what can we expect from this card? And guys, okay, that's really my down list. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. These are just my thoughts as always. Remember to let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Do you agree with my choices? Maybe you have different opinions. Just let me know what you guys think. And if you enjoyed this video, consider liking it. Helps me out. And if you enjoy my content, consider giving me a subscribe. Right, I'm Retro YGO, and I will see you next time. Peace.